Open your book to page 408. This is lesson 14.2. This lesson is to solve two equations simultaneously. And you're going to use a method called addition method, or sometimes called the elimination method. So let's go over example 1. You learned how to solve equation before, but it's only one equation. But now you're going to have two equations. When you have two equations, go ahead and write the equation side by side so you have room to work underneath. And that's a good practice because later on you might learn how to do the 3 equations or 4 equations. Okay, so you have first equation, you have x plus y equal to 6, and you have x minus y equal to 2. Okay, I'm going to refer to this as elimination method because what you want to do is when the two equations look similar, so you got x, y equal number, right? So when two equations look similar, you want to use elimination method. And just like the name elimination, you want to eliminate one of the variable. So to eliminate one of the variable, you have to make one of the variable opposite. So right now you look, the x, okay, so these are the same, so you don't want to eliminate that. These are opposite, so you want to eliminate the y. Okay? And so what you want to do is you want to put one equation underneath the other. It doesn't matter which one you put underneath. You can put this under here, you can put this under here. Now normally I want to leave the addition equation alone, okay, because I'm going to use it later on. So normally I like to put the one with the addition to the bottom over here. So I'm going to put this one under here. Okay, so again, you don't want to draw the arrow, but I'm just drawing it so you can follow what I'm doing. So I'm going to put this equation under here. And then I'm going to add the equation together. Okay? So x plus x is 2x. Negative y plus y, it cancels out. And that's why it's called elimination method. Because when you add, the y get eliminated. So in order to use elimination method, make sure the variable are opposite. Make sure they're opposite. So when you add, they get eliminated. Equal to 2 plus 6 is 8. And so now, you can go and divide by 2, divide by 2. So you got x equal to 4. Okay, so that's only part of it. Now you have to go back. You have to substitute this into one of these equations to solve. It doesn't matter if this one or this one. But since I already have a nice space over here, I'm going to use this one. And again, I like to use an addition equation. I don't like to use a subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to substitute this into here. So I have a 4, right? Whenever you substitute, right, it tells you x equal to 4, right? So you're going to replace that. Okay, again, x equal to 4, that means they are equal, so they're interchangeable. So I'm going to change the x into 4 because they are the same, right? So change it, so substitute x equal to 4 plus y equal to 6, and then minus 4 on both sides, and so you got y equal to 2. Okay, so over here you got x equal to 4, y equal to 2. So this is the elimination method. Again, the key is make sure that they are similar, make sure two equations are similar, and make sure they're opposite, make them opposite to cancel things out. Okay, now let's go to example 2. So you got x minus 2y equal to negative 6. And you got 4x plus 3y is equal to 20. Again, write two equations side by side so you have room to work underneath. Okay, so now, again, remember the key is first make sure they are similar. So you got x, y equal number, right? So they are similar. So you want to use elimination method. Now to use elimination method, you're going to make one of the variable opposite. So you have to decide. Now this one is kind of hard to do. So I'm going to make the x opposite. You need to get to the least common multiple. Okay? So the least common multiple. So this one is easier to do. So to make this opposite, I need to multiply this by negative 4. If I can multiply this by negative 4, this becomes minus 4x, and it becomes opposite of that. Again, the key is you have to make them opposite in order to cancel. So I'm going to make the x opposite. So to make it opposite, I need to multiply this by 4, negative 4. And I'm going to put it right below here, so that way it reminds me that I have to multiply each of these by negative 4. If you put this over here, then you're going to forget to multiply this one and this one. So I'm going to put right below the equal sign. Okay, so multiply, so I get minus 4x. Right? This multiply, I get minus 4x. This one, when I multiply, I get plus 8y. Equal, multiply, equal to positive 24. Okay? So now they're opposite, right? Okay? So I'm going to put this equation under here. Again, it doesn't matter if you put this under here or this over here. Okay? So I'm going to put this under here. So this is 4x plus 3y equal to 20. Again, the key is make one of the variable opposite, so that way they get eliminated, they get cancel out. So when you add, this get cancel out. So this one you add, you get 11y. When you add, you get 44. And so you divide by 11, so you got y equal to 4. Okay. Now to solve for x, like I said, you can use this equation or you can use this equation. It does not matter. So before we try to use this one, right? But now let's go and use this one. Again, I'm drawing the arrow so you can follow what I'm doing. So I'm going to use this equation, so I get x minus 2 times, now y, what's y? You already know y, right? Y equal to 4, so substitute, right? You know, I'm going to write the equation now so you can see what I'm doing. So this come over here, so y is 4, so I'm going to substitute, right? So work it out, so x minus 8 equal to negative 6. Again, show your steps, okay? Remember, math is not just getting an answer, right? Math is communicating your thoughts, right? So you need to show people how you get the answer. So show your steps. So you can plus 8 to undo the 8. So plus 8, so you got x equal to 2. Okay, and that's it. So x equal to 2, y equal to 4. Okay, let's go to example 3. So you have the 3x plus 4y equal to 6. And then you have the 2x plus 3y equal to 5. So now this one is harder now, okay? Because this one is not as obvious. So what you want to do is you need to get to the least common multiple, because right now this is not direct like the previous one, right? This is already opposite already, so this is easy. This one is not too hard because you can just multiply by negative 4, it's matched already, right? But this one you have to multiply both equations. So I'm going to choose the x because it has lower number. It has 3, 2 versus the y has 4 and 3. So I'm going to choose this one, probably a little bit easier to do. So you got 3 and 2, so you need to get the least common multiple. So least common multiple is 6. So you need to get to the 6, right? Again, you have to make them the opposite, right? So to make them opposite, you have to make one 6x, the other one minus 6x. So I'm going to multiply this by 2. So I get 6x plus 8y equal to 12. So now I need to get this to opposite of that, so I need to multiply this by negative 3. Again, the key is make one of the variable opposite. So I'm going to make the x opposite. So multiply, I get negative 6x. See, again, that's what we're doing, right? Make them opposite. Figure out find a way to make them opposite. Okay? And the way to do that is get into common denominator. 3 and 2, this common multiple or this common multiple is going to be 6. Okay, and so you need to get to the 6, and this is how to make them opposite. So now you can put this under here, right? So put this under here, you get 6x plus 8y equal to 12. So now when you add, this cancel out. This plus this will give you minus 1y. This plus this will give you minus 3. So now you have to get rid of the negative. So what you want to do is you can multiply or divide by negative 1. So if I multiply by negative 1, I get y equal to 3. Okay, so box that. So that's my answer. Now once I found y, I need to go back and find x. So you can use this equation, you can use this equation, you can use this equation, you can use this equation. You can use any equation. Okay? So I'm going to use, this is probably easier, but since this has more space, I'm going to use this one. Again, it doesn't matter which one. So pick the easiest one. Okay? And this is easier for me to draw the arrow, so I'm going to use this one. So it'd be 3x plus 4y equal to 6. So that's the one I'm using. So I'm going to substitute the y into here. So you got 3x plus 4 times 3 equal to 6. Again, show your steps. Now, because you are writing all over the place, that's why it becomes important to box your final answer. Because if you don't box your answer, then it's kind of hard to find out what your final answer is, especially when you have multiple columns. Okay, so let's go and work it out. So you got 3x plus 12 equal to 6. So minus 12. Again, use the technique you learned earlier. So you got 3x. Again, none of your equal sign. They're opposite, so you have to subtract the number and follow the sign of that. Then you divide by 3. So x equal to negative 2. Okay, and that's it for example 3. Okay, so this is a little bit challenging. Okay. Okay, let's go to page 411. So page 411, let's go to example 5. Again, you have two equations you need to solve. So you got 2x plus 3y is equal to 4. And you got 5x plus 6y equal to 11. So again, you have to look at the variables. This is 2, 3, this is 5, 6. So none of this is not, this one is kind of hard. 2 and 5 is kind of hard to do. It's easier to do because this is a multiple of that. So it's easier to make the y opposite. Right? This is 3, this is 6. So if you multiply this by -2, then they will be opposite already. If you make the x opposite, then you have to times this by 5, then you have to times this by -2 to make the 10x and minus 10x. So it's harder to do. So again, you have to look at your variable and look at your numbers. So this one is easier to do the y. Okay? Again, remember the key is to make one of the variable opposite, so that we cancel out. So I'm going to multiply this by -2. So I get -4x minus 6y equal to -8. So now they're opposite, see that? So now they're opposite, so I can put this under here. So I get 5x plus 6y equal to 11. So when I add, this will give me x, this cancel out, this will equal to 3. By opposite sign, you subtract the numbers, will give you 3. And so that's it. See, it's very simple. So once you find x equal to 3, again, you can go back to any of the equation. You can use this one, this one, this one, this one. Doesn't matter which one. Okay? So choose the easiest one. Okay? And so this would be easiest one. Okay? But I'm going to use this one instead just to show you, you can do any equation. So I have 5 times 3, right? That's what x is, right? So it tells you x equal to 3. Plus 6y equal to 11. Multiply out. You got 15 plus 6y equal to 11. So minus 15, minus 15. So you got 6y equal to, now they're opposite numbers. They're opposite numbers, opposite signs, so you have to subtract the number. So it's 4, and you follow the sign of this one, so it would be negative. So divide by 6, divide by 6. So y equal to, now you have to reduce, right? Divide by 2, so you're going to get -2 over 3, and that's it. Okay, so the answer not always going to be a nice number. Sometimes it can be fractions, right? Okay, let's go to example 6. So let's go to example 6. You have 2x minus 3y equal to 6. You got 6x minus 9y equal to 36. Okay, now notice when you have an equation like this, you have to multiply to make them opposite, right? But if you look at sometimes you want to divide to lower your equation to, before you do anything. Notice this is 6, 9, and 36. All these are divisible by 3. So right now the number is kind of high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 3 first to lower my number so it's easier to work with. So I get 2x minus 3y equal to 12. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by -1. I'm going to make them opposite. I'm going to make the x opposite. Okay? So I need to multiply this by -1. So I get -2x plus 3y equal to -6. Then I'm going to put this under here. Right? So you get 2x minus 3y equal to 12. Now when you add, you're going to get 0 equal to 6. Now we have a problem. Okay? So before, when you have one equation, this is no solution, right? Okay? But when you deal with two equations, this is called inconsistent. So your answer would be inconsistent, means they contradict each other. Okay? So inconsistent. And that would be your answer because they contradict each other, so you cannot work things out. So again, when you have this kind of situation, this is false. Cannot. But when you have one equation, when you have this kind of situation with one equation, it's called no solution. But when you have two equations, your answer would be inconsistent. Now let's go to example 7. example 7, you have 4x plus 6y equal to 4, and then you have 6x plus 9y equal to 6. So again, notice all these are multiple of 2, so I'm going to divide by 2 to lower my number so it's easier to work with. So you got 2x plus 3y equal to 2. And all these are multiple of 3, so I'm going to divide by 3 to lower my number. Again, when you lower the number, it's easier to work with. So you got 2x plus 3y equal to 2. Notice they're identical, right? So this is what's going to happen. If you're going to eliminate the x, you multiply by negative 1. So you got negative 2x plus minus. So this is what happens when you kind of just follow the procedure. So minus 3y equal to minus 2. And you put this under here. So you got 2x plus 3y equal to 2. And when you add, this all cancel out, so you got 0 equal to 0. So this is true. Okay? So in this case, when you deal with two equations and it's always true, that the answer would be dependent. That means the answer for one equation would depend on the other equation. So they're dependent on each other. So again, it's always true, so this is called dependent. If they contradict each other, like this one over here, okay, then it's false, then you'll be inconsistent. So you have three situations. You have an answer, or if it contradicts, then it would be inconsistent. If they're identical, it's dependent. So you're going to have three situations when you're solving two equations, just like before.